Roanoke, Virginia, deep in the heart of the Appalachians. It's not the first location you'd expect to travel to see a bodybuilding contest. Yet the IFBB Jantana Classic draws a large crowd every year to see what promoters David Puzo and Jantana have put together. The show was a professionally produced spectacle with a crop of new pro talent, and it was full of surprises. The first shocker was last year's runner-up Jillian Haas, dropping all the way to 15th. Ironically, she was actually in better shape than last year. However, since the IFBB is frowning on women appearing too ripped, Jillian may have been wiser to follow an easier diet. Natural bodybuilder Janet Tech was placed way down in 14th place, but her noted symmetry and stage presence still shine through. IFBB judges have told us that it's Janet's relative lack of size that hurts her in professional competition. In 12th place was Marie-Laurie Mahabir, the massive former NABA world champion from Guadalupe. Since her Ms. Olympia debut 2 years ago, Marie hasn't done well in the IFBB. Her enormous size was most likely frowned upon by the judges. The new IFBB standards do demand size, but not to an excess. The latest national champion, Pittsburgh's Kim King, broke the top 10 in her first pro show. Many predict a bright future for her. Kim's legs alone are worth the price of admission. Her deep-set eyes certainly were captivating, but her posing routine lacked the pizzazz and showmanship that most of the other women incorporated into their presentations. In 7th place was 1988 USA champion Dorothy Herndon in her first show in 2 years. Although she's been training for 11 years, she was once a painfully thin model. And we're glad Dorothy has successfully recovered from a devastating shoulder injury. In 6th place was the powerfully built Czechoslovakian Zuzana Korinkova. At last year's Ms. Olympia, everyone was asking who was this striking young woman. Now that Zuzana's proved to be a true contender, she may be an excellent ambassador in the burgeoning sport of bodybuilding in the former Eastern Bloc. Only serious fans of women's bodybuilding will remember Anita Gandel. After she won a regional title, Anita was invited to compete in the 1981 Ms. Olympia and granted pro status. She tied for 8th place and went on to compete in a total of 4 Ms. Olympias. Anita retired from competition and actually stopped training for 5 years. And it was only with the announcement of the IFBB's new judging criteria for a more feminine look that she decided to make a comeback.
What really inspired me was the fact that I was very thin and small, and I wanted to add size and shape to my body. And it was exciting to find out that I could do that with weight. I mean, I could really add shape, and instead of people thinking that it makes you masculine, the more I lifted, the more muscle I built, I felt more feminine because I added more shape to my body, and that was what I really liked. It made me feel good about myself.
At the press conference for this contest, Canadian champion Sandra Blackie actually announced her retirement after several disappointing events, including a lack of recognition at the recent Ms. Olympia. Her 4th place in Roanoke definitely changed her mind, and it was her first placing in a pro show. Sandra's 5 years of experience at the Weider Muscle Camp, combined with new trainer Phil Galia's motivation, helped her create a brand new body.
If you have too many variables going on at the same time, how do you know what is working? And with Philip's help, I was able to weigh in at about 150 pounds.
In 3rd place was an Orlando policewoman, Audrey Harris. Obviously, there's still hope for the more heavily muscled women in bodybuilding because they don't get much bigger than Audrey. Although she was overlooked at the recent Ms. Olympia, her consistent high placings at the Jantana can't be ignored either. Runner-up was Nancy Lewis, last year's USA champion, sporting a radical new hairstyle and physique. This was her 2nd pro show after doing very well at Arnold Schwarzenegger's Ms. International. Living away from all the controversy of the L.A. area, Nancy relaxes in Northern California by fishing, painting, and hiking. And it's clear that with her symmetrical physique, she'll never have to worry about any changes in judging standards. Winning the Jantana Classic was the statuesque Nikki Fuller, still the youngest female IFBB pro at 24. As the owner of the Jungle Gym in Portland, Oregon, and the 1990 national champion, Nikki began training with her college football team. She has spent the last year refining her physique and training hard, determined to come back with a bang. Nikki easily fulfilled her goal, and a sexy routine was certain to attract attention, too. This was the last pro show to qualify for the Ms. Olympia, and several women surprised themselves by doing so. More importantly, the Jans-Hanna was a rare opportunity for fans of female bodybuilding to see a pro women's event, a rare thing for American bodybuilding fans. For Muscle Magazine, I'm John Kovic.